Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 289. It was a big week in tech, dominated once again by AI and the ChatGPT tool. But I'm going to take a bit of a reprieve on that this week, as we've done that topic to death lately. But we have a great show planned for you, and a packed one at that, between the 5 different segments. We're going to start off with TV personality Marissa Roberto, who will chat with us about the latest in gaming monitors in her partnership with LG. Speaking of games, after that, we'll talk about the new MLB The Show 23 for PlayStation 4 and 5 and other consoles. We'll talk with Sony Interactive Entertainment. Halo.Car will join us about its fleet of vehicles in Las Vegas that will drive to you with no one behind the wheel. Also on the show, I'll share some cool spring-related tech, including a robotic lawnmower. And finally, we'll talk with the author of a new book about a fictional 3D printer that can create human organs and how it may not be so far-fetched. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Asus, for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about Asus shortly, but let's officially kick things off with our first interview. Video games and computer games are all about immersion, of course, that suspension of disbelief. It's super important to lose yourself for a few minutes or hours in a great game, whether it's a fantasy RPG, an intense multiplayer action title, or sports simulation. And so choosing the right monitor as your window to the gaming world is incredibly important. To chat with us about the award-winning LG Ultra Gear OLED gaming monitors, including a massive new 45-inch one, we're joined by Marissa Roberto. She's, of course, gaming influencer, host of Digital Sports Center on TSN, ESPN's sister station, and one of the nicest broadcasters you'll ever meet. Hey, Marissa, welcome to the show.
Mark, that was so kind. Thank you. Wow, what an intro.
I can't believe this is the first time I've had you on, but it's always been a pleasure running into you at industry events, and I'm a big fan of your work. You know all that. Before we get our game on, though, please tell our listeners who may not recall the voice they're hearing just yet, please remind us about your work, including the broadcasting gigs you've got.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. We know each other from gaming industry events, even like CES run-ins, all the good stuff. I work in sports full-time right now, but for a full decade of my career, it was devoted to video games. I play a lot of video games. My husband and I have a few gaming stations in the house, and we've been together for 18 years now. So, I mean, there must be something to gaming together, but also having your own separate gaming lives. I think that's very important. Just having a shared hobby, I think maybe adds to the romance. I feel as though if people follow me on socials, they know I'm a gamer. I put a lot of my life on social media, but I also just love technology. I feel like it keeps me young. I like to ride an electric skateboard as well in the summer because obviously that sparks joy as well. Just I'm a big tech lover. We're a big tech and gaming house over here for sure.
Love it. Speaking of social media, I've learned that you can dance with a hockey stick on TikTok. It was impressive. So let's now talk gaming. Why is choosing a monitor so important, as I called out off the top, if you agree?
I definitely agree. Well, much like sports, there's a lot of competitive juices flowing when you're playing video games, right? So if you've ever been in the middle of a 1v1 and you see your opponent glitch while you're tracking them, all of a sudden you're responding because they got the shot on you, but you know you got the shot first. That sucks. Resolution, frame rate, and response time all make a difference between winning and losing. So, for example, if the refresh rate is too slow, the game essentially moves faster than your monitor can display the information. So, if you follow me on Instagram, I shout out my Instagram. You may have noticed that I use the LG 45-inch Ultra Gear OLED gaming monitor, and it delivers super high refresh rate up to 240 hertz with a response time of 0.03 milliseconds. That is insane. I've seriously upped my gaming experience and enjoyment overall with it. It truly does make a difference.
All right. So just to bring everybody up to speed, in case you're listening and you're not too much of a gamer, but someone in your family is, the higher the hertz, which is a measurement of the refresh rate or screen refresh, the better. The higher the better. So 240 hertz quadruples the regular 60 frames per second that entry-level monitors and TVs deliver. Every millisecond counts when you're playing online. It could be the difference between a win and a loss. So incredibly important. So the lower the millisecond number, the better, the higher the hertz. I know it sounds like jargon soup, but this is where the Ultra Gear family comes in because it is the creme de la creme, I'd argue. And you touched on that 45-inch monitor one. Crazy. I'm going to ask you more about that in a moment. And I happen to see that for the first time at CES. But tell us about the LG Ultra Gear family, sort of at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, they are state-of-the-art monitors. They're loaded with gaming-specific features. And obviously, as gamers, we sure do feel special when technology caters to our needs. They have high screen resolutions of up to 4K, high refresh rates of up to 240 hertz. As you just mentioned, how amazing that is. We just discussed extremely fast response times. We need these things. LG also announced the inclusion of its coveted OLED technology in their Ultra Gear gaming monitors last year, and the family has continued to expand. Obviously, I love, as an LG user, I just like to gloat about the things that I have, of course. Again, as a gamer, we like to do this. The monitor I've been using, the LG 45-inch Ultra Gear OLED gaming monitor, also won multiple innovation awards at CES, which speaks volumes to how far LG Ultra Gear gaming monitors have gone in terms of technology and innovation. Getting those awards are a big deal. Mark, you know that. You walk the floor, you see how much tech is out there. So to be singled out, to be one of the best is insane. And now to tie it into sports and gaming, another love of mine, esports, LG Ultra Gear gaming monitors are also the official monitor of Raptors Uprising, which is the NBA 2K League affiliate of the Toronto Raptors. So basically all my loves coming together in one beautiful way.
Actually, I didn't know that they were the official monitor of Raptors Uprising. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And look, we've talked about speed quite a bit, the 240 hertz refresh rates and the 0.03 millisecond response times. But these monitors, as you mentioned earlier, Marissa, are OLED monitors. Like many of the LG TVs out there, what does OLED bring to the table?
Ooh, I mean, I know as a tech nerd, you know what OLED is. For the last 10 years, LG has been the leader of OLED technology. What makes this technology so cool is that it contains millions of self-lit pixels. So instead of using a backlight, it produces perfect blacks, incredible color accuracy and clarity, and infinite contrast. So giving the viewer an incredible viewing experience. For gamers, what this means is basically a total immersion in their games. So imagine the dark scenes in The Last of Us, for example, part 1, that I'm sure many of us have been playing again because of the show.
Well, first of all, yeah, that show which just wrapped up was like such a great nod to the game and just such a fantastic show.
So wonderful. So many of us who played the game want to replay it again, so we realize the similarities in the show. And the thing is, there's a lot of dark moments in that game. So when you have these individually self-lit pixels, you get to see every single piece of the map that you're trying to explore as well, even in the dark. So even more, the matte anti-glare and the low reflection OLED panel of the curved Ultra Gear monitor is easier on the eyes. So we have curved technology in there as well. It's really cool how the engineers made it so that it's like the curvature of your eyeball. So you're feeling the comfort as well while you're playing without even thinking about it. It just allows us to immerse ourselves even more into these games. And I'm over the moon about the experience.
We're joined by Marissa Roberto, gaming influencer and host of Digital Sports Center on TSN, ESPN's sister station, a passionate gamer as well. If you follow her on TikTok and other social media platforms, we are chatting about the LG Ultra Gear family of monitors, including this brand new 45-inch OLED monitor, not just big, but also fast. We talked about the importance of speed. It's also curved. It's nice to have a choice because some Ultra Gear monitors are flat and it's sort of curved, so it really sort of envelops you, like, you know, your field of vision into the game. But it really boils down to personal preference.
100%. That's the thing. You want a choice as gamers. These things are huge. They're gorgeous, stunning, just stunning. If I think about the way gamers get to enjoy themselves now, it's so comfortable. I'm just over the moon with the technology here. Even if you're into FPS games where you want to feel your proximity, you really need this. You really want to feel this. Like, technology really allows for heightened focus. So just not missing a single detail in crucial moments of the game is important, especially if you're a competitive gamer. You have to think of all those things.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, FPS stands for first-person shooter games.
Right.
It would be remiss not to acknowledge that these monitors are also great for non-gaming applications, right? You're just watching, your favorite streaming video service or a sports game or just browsing the web. I mean, it's obviously designed for gamers because of that extra speed and clarity, but these are great all-around monitors as well. And speaking of which, before we wrap up, could you expand on some of the other features of this monitor? I understand it has several different ports to connect to a computer or a gaming system.
Oh, heck yeah. We love ports. We love a lot of ports. We got a lot of ports with this baby.
Yeah, lots of ports over here.
Which we love so much. Apart from just the stunning OLED panel, which we spoke about, this monitor has support for a variable refresh rate, NVIDIA G-Sync compatible, and FreeSync Premium. LG's Ultra Gear provides that seamless visual with minimal tearing and stuttering, which is just like if you don't think about it, if you don't have to think about it, that's the beautiful thing. You don't ever want to be reminded that what you're looking at or what you're using is technology that can fail you, and you just don't have that here. It's not even a thought, which is just stunning. It supports HDMI 2.1 specifications and DisplayPort 1.4 connectivity, and it has 4-pole headphone jack that allows gamers like myself to relish in the realistic spatial sound of DTS Headphone X.
Well, as George Lucas once famously said, audio is half of he said movie viewing experience, but that can be also fair to say applied to gaming as well, that what you hear can influence what you see and contribute to the overall experience, of course.
100%. I didn't even mention the coolest thing. I mean, I guess everything else is cool, but I also really love the remote control. The remote control that comes with the monitor. It's so much fun. It provides quick and easy display management. Plus, you can add programmable hotkeys. You know how exciting that is to add hotkeys to your controller? Oh my gosh. So if you're looking for just quick settings and have yourself some time and energy, you have to just save it for the game, the remote control will definitely come in handy. I can promise you that.
And then as we wrap up, Marissa, where can we learn more about this monitor?
LG.com.
All right, LG.com. Pleasure to chat with you, Marissa.
Oh my goodness, an absolute pleasure, Mark. Thank you.
More gaming goodness with MLB The Show 23 when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, accessories like monitors, mice, and keyboards. There's mobile tech like smartphones and tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. The launch of spring wouldn't be the same without a new MLB The Show baseball video game, and 2023 is no different, thankfully. MLB The Show 23 just debuted for PS4, PlayStation 5, and other consoles, and so joining us for a chat about the franchise and what's new this year is Ramone Russell. He's product development, communications, and brand strategist at Sony Interactive Entertainment. Welcome back to the show, Ramone. Good to chat with you.
Good to talk to you again.
Yeah. Hey, are you going back to the All-Stars game this summer? It's in Seattle, right?
I should be there, yeah.
I spoke to you last year, just after All-Stars gaming, so good to hear you're going again. But hey, let's now talk about what's available now, which is MLB The Show 23. Congrats on the launch of the new game. Before we talk about this specific version, please give us a high-level look at the MLB The Show franchise as a whole.
Yeah, so we make MLB The Show, which is a simulation baseball, officially licensed Major League Baseball game down at the San Diego studio, and it's our labor of love. We make a yearly title. Our development cycle is around 9 months, and every year around March and April, we hopefully release the best version of a baseball video game that we've ever made. And we try to cater to all types of baseball fans. If you want to create your own person and try to make it to the Hall of Fame, we have a mode called Road to the Show. If you like being a GM, we have a mode called Franchise Mode. If you like playing baseball cards and having a team full of anybody and everyone, we have you covered with Diamond Dynasty Mode. And this year, we're introducing a very special new mode called MLB The Show Presents Storylines, and we're introducing the Negro Leagues into the game finally.
All right, so I want to ask you more about Storylines, which is one of the new features. But just to be clear, this is an annual game, as you said. It's kind of funny how it's like 9 months to make the game. This is your child, Ramone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you and your very talented team. But it's not just roster updates. You improve the graphics and animation. You improve the artificial intelligence. You add new modes. We're going to also get to cross-platform play this year in a moment. But let's start with what's new with Storylines.
Yes, Storylines is a brand new game experience celebrating the rich history of the Negro Leagues. And the reason it's called Storylines is because we knew we needed to do more than to just throw Negro League players in the game. And the main reason for that is the very vast majority of our fan base would have no idea who they were or what they went through and what the Negro Leagues baseball actually represented for this country and baseball history. So before you play as them, you need to learn a little bit about them and what made them special and the struggles that they went through just to play a game that they loved. And you will learn that and so much more in this fun new interactive game mode called Storylines.
And you had a partnership with a museum, right, to get all the factual information in there.
100%. This entire project starts and ends with our relationship with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City at 18th and Vine, and the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum president and Major League Baseball historian Bob Kendrick. This project is really about shining a light on a forgotten part of baseball and American history, and they have been so amazing to work with, and we're so happy with what we've been able to create in collaboration with the museum.
That's great. I really like to hear about this. I'm all about inclusion. So can you play as real players in that league, these like historical players, or are you creating a player from scratch?
No, you're learning about real Negro League baseball players and you're playing as them.
Okay.
You're going to learn about Leroy Satchel Paige. You're going to learn about the legendary Buck O'Neil. You're going to learn about the father of Black baseball, Andrew Rube Foster. You're going to learn about Hank Thompson, who integrated multiple Major League Baseball teams. You're going to learn about the amazing Cuban player who might have been the best baseball player in history, Black or white, the immortal Martin Dihigo El Maestro. You're going to learn about Jackie Robinson. And you're thinking, wait, Jackie Robinson, we know his story. Yes, we know a little bit about his story, but the story that hasn't often been told is that Jackie Robinson started his baseball career in the Negro Leagues playing for the Kansas City Monarchs. So you're going to learn about that story and so much more in Storylines this year.
Talk to us, if you can, about the cross-platform support. As I hinted at off the top, Ramone, the game isn't just for PlayStation 5. Why is this important?
Yeah, because people own multiple consoles. We're a multi-platform game now. You can play our game on PlayStation, on Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. And if you have two of those consoles on different platforms, you can now take your game saves on the road. You can start on a PlayStation or Xbox at home, and then when you go on the road, you can transfer those save files and pick up right where you left off with cross-platform play and cross-platform saves.
So it's not just the ability to start on, say, your PS4 or PS5 and then continue on a Nintendo Switch when you're on an airplane, but you can play against somebody over the internet on another system. So they could be on Xbox, you're on PS5, and you can play a multiplayer game. Does that go across all multiplayer modes?
It's across all multiplayer modes.
Awesome. We're chatting with Ramone Russell, Product Development Communications and Brand Strategist at Sony Interactive Entertainment. The folks down in San Diego have cranked out another home run here. We've got MLB The Show 23, where you can step up to the plate as or against your favorite baseball team or create your own. And then finally, where can we learn more about MLB The Show 23, including pricing, where to buy, and maybe look at some videos or screenshots of the game?
OnTheShow.com.
All right, ontheshow.com, and you can see everything for MLB The Show 23, and you're good to go. I believe it's $69 for the PS4 version, $79 for the PS5. All right, Ramone, great to chat with you as always, and if I don't speak to you before this summer, I hope you enjoy the All-Stars game in Seattle. All the best.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Speaking of baseball, I'll chat about spring gadgets when we return. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. I had a lot of fun on TV last week talking about spring tech. So spring officially kicked off on March the 20th, even though it may not feel like spring based on where you're hearing the show. But I think for much of the country, it still feels like tail end of winter. But hey, it's nice to be optimistic and look forward to some gear that you could take advantage of to help welcome in the new season, as well as some games and an app and all that. So I wanted to share this with you. If you want to jot jot any of this down, grab a pen, grab your phone. If you have any questions about any of these, you can always hit me up on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok, actually. So it's Mark Saltzman, MarcSaltzman. All right, first up, how about something for the home and something on the go this spring? At home, air purifiers are always a popular purchase around springtime, and now they're part of your smart home. The 3M Filtrete Smart Air Purifier, as the name suggests, is very smart. So first of all, it continuously monitors and improves air quality thanks to its laser-based sensor that reads particles in the air like pollen, pet dander, dust, smoke, and it has replaceable HEPA filters as well. But what's cool is the auto mode. So it automatically adjusts fan speed based on the air quality. And there's a display on top of the air purifier or through the app that shows you information. Or if you've got that app, you can control the air purifier by tapping a few things within the app or use your voice through a compatible smart speaker. You can say something like, ask Filtrete for the air quality, or do I need to replace the air filters, that kind of thing. There are a couple of different models based on room size, medium and large, and the prices start at $264.99. Next up, for some tech when you're on the go, springtime, of course, means travel for many, and there's an inexpensive way to send and spend money. It's the Wise app and card, which gives you access to your universal account. With the app, for example, I can send money to my 3 traveling kids who are all finishing up with school and they want to travel for the summer. I can send them money in more than 50 currencies in over 70 countries for a tiny and transparent fee. In some cases, it's as fast as 20 seconds for the money transfer to go through. So certainly different than when I was in Europe when I was younger and having to pay through the nose for the dollar exchange and service fees and all that. Plus, you can now accept money through the app or use the debit card in more than 170 countries with no hidden fees, something banks are often known for. You can go to wise.com to learn more about the Wise app and card. It was formerly TransferWise, by the way, if you remember that brand, but they've simplified it just down to Wise. All right, heading back to the home, I've got a pair of high-tech lawnmowers. Yep, tech has changed every industry, and lawnmowers are no exception. As a journalist, I've been writing about Husqvarna's automowers for years. These are robots that cut your grass for you. And now, for the first time in this country, the first boundary wire-free solution with the Automower 450X EPOS. So you don't need to install a physical wire anymore under or on the lawn. You used to have it professionally installed around the perimeter of the lawn. Instead, it now uses precise GPS satellite connectivity to cut your grass, stay on your property. It can handle slopes and navigate around obstacles automatically. It'll drive itself back to the base to charge up if it detects it's running low, and then will continue on with its job. And it's super quiet. So it's only 58 decibels, which means you can have it run late at night or early in the morning without bothering your neighbors. In fact, 58 decibels is about the volume of a conversation with somebody. Through the Husqvarna app, you can set schedules and patterns like a crosshatch design, which is like a baseball field, and a lot more. So it's the Husqvarna Automower 450X EPOS, that's EPOS, and it's just shy of $5K, $49.99. Another solution is if you have a larger property and you need a riding mower. Ryobi has a new 80-volt HP lithium zero-turn riding mower family. There are different sizes, but the family as a whole are these new rideable mowers that do not take gas, which can be noisy, smelly, it causes emissions, and can be quite costly, not just in the price of gas and the inconvenience of having to run out and get gas, but there's also less maintenance issues with an electric mower, and super quiet, as I mentioned. You could ride this thing early in the day or late at night and not bother anybody. So instead of gas, these mowers are packed with these suitcase-size 100 lithium-ion cells, providing the power that you need to do your job. Plus, you can extend runtime by inserting any Ryobi 40-volt battery that are popular with over 85 different Ryobi tools. For example, I have a Ryobi leaf blower that takes that exact 40-volt battery that also snaps into the Ryobi 80-volt mower to extend your performance. And instead of it being complicated complicated to drive, Ryobi has an exclusive iDrive system, as it's called, which uses a convenient one-handed joystick steering control. So literally one hand, you can hold a coffee or something else in another. Very easy to drive. There's an app to get more info and an LCD screen and other bells and whistles. Again, that's the Ryobi 80-volt HP lithium zero-turn riding mower. Prices start at $6K, $59.99 for the 42-inch model at Home Depot. And then finally, for work or play, if you're looking for an ultra-portable laptop this spring to bring from, say, home to a coffee shop, then to the office or the airport, the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED is super thin and light. It rocks a 13th gen Intel Core i7 processor, long-lasting battery, tons of storage, and I love the virtually borderless Nano Edge touchscreen. Again, so it's an OLED display, which is absolutely stunning. If you haven't seen one on a TV, they're now packed into some of these laptops. And I love the Harman Kardon speakers when you're streaming TV shows or playing games, including support for Dolby Atmos as well. And when you need to get some work done, not only is there a huge trackpad, but it also doubles as a number pad. So you press a little button in the corner and it illuminates a virtual number pad. So you can get some work done on that without requiring a physical number pad separately, which can make the laptop body wider than you need it to. Prices start at $749 for the Asus ZenBook 14X OLED. So as you can see, a few great examples of some gear, apps, and games just to help welcome in the new spring season. If you want to see any of these in action, again, I'm on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarcSaltzman. Hey, speaking of computers, and before we get to our next guest from Halo.Car, just a reminder to properly back up your files onto external storage. I'm a huge fan of Western Digital and SanDisk, so whether you go with an external hard drive, an SSD or solid state drive, or even an SD card or USB thumb drive, as long as you back up to something off the cloud that's local and offline, you want to make sure you protect those irreplaceable documents and photos and home movies and put it away for safekeeping just in case. So check out your favorite online retailer like Amazon or a big box store like Best Buy or what have you. There's always sales on WD external hard drives and SanDisk, solid state drives, memory cards, and more. Imagine a car dropped off for you to drive around Las Vegas with no driver in it. We're going to chat with Halo.Car when we return.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. While it might sound like science fiction, did you know that in Las Vegas today, you can order an electric vehicle for you to drive around and it'll come to you with no human driver? The service is called Halo.Car. Once it arrives, you climb behind the wheel and then it drives off when you're done. Joining us to chat all about it is Halo.Car's CEO and co-founder, Anand Nandakumar. Hi, Anand. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Why don't we start at a high level? I gave a little tease about it in my intro, but what is Halo.Car all about?
Yeah, Halo.Car is an interesting product where our customers take our app and push a button and request a car. We will remotely drive an all-electric driverless car to deliver the car to a customer. Once it's actually delivered, they hop in the driver's seat. You can drive how much ever you want. Once you're done, you don't have to park. Just simply drop it off and walk away. We will remotely drive the car instantly to another customer.
And just to be clear, this isn't an autonomous vehicle, correct? Like, unless I'm mistaken, it's not like the car itself is driving autonomously, but there is someone at Halo.Car piloting the vehicle to you.
That's exactly right. It is not an autonomous car, but a remotely piloted service. One of our actual humans that are trained and certified by us that are working from our mission control, and they drive the car remotely over LTE and 5G.
Right. You have a partnership with T-Mobile.
We do.
Yeah. Uses the 5G network.
It uses both LTE. When LTE is available, uses that. And when 5G is available, it uses 5G automatically.
So the person at Halo driving this vehicle, they are seeing what the car sees, I guess, from some sort of camera. Is it kind of like a video game, like from that perspective?
Yeah, kind of, actually. There are 6 cameras around the car.
Okay.
And it gives the remote pilot a full 360-degree field of view. It has better field of view than yourself sitting inside the car. We are sitting inside the car. The car is not designed for high visibility. So what happens is you have all kinds of blind spots. But the way we integrate these cameras and the way we do a proprietary stitch so our remote pilots can see, they actually have much better visibility and barely have any blind spots, which means that they can make really tight turns, maneuver around, dense urban environments. And that's exactly what we're launching here in Las Vegas.
Right. Okay. Got it. And that answered my next question. So it is only available right now in Vegas.
That's right.
Okay.
One city at the moment. And then as and when this starts scaling, we'll go deploy in more cities.
Okay. Got it. And thanks for explaining about the multiple cameras. I was going to ask you about blind spots and stuff like that, where you need to be sitting in the vehicle in order to drive safely. Can you walk us through how the process works? You said earlier that the customer just opens an app and taps, but obviously you specify where you are. What if there are specific instructions like don't pull into the driveway or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the customer joins the app, they sign up, they first scan the driver's license front and back. That goes through a verification process to make sure that they have a valid driver's license, the identity is verified, and they're of the appropriate age. And then once they're actually approved by our system, they can now request a car. When they now request a car, they can actually tell which location to come. Obviously, we use the GPS of the phone to see exactly where the customer is. They can also specify a certain address and say, can you deliver the car at this address?
Okay, got it. Maybe it's a dumb question. Why have this remotely piloted vehicle instead of hiring someone to go and drop it off?
Oh, man. Yeah. This is a beautiful question, honestly speaking, because it touches on so many different angles. So when you run a fleet of cars, the biggest cost of operating a fleet of cars is repositioning the cars. In this case, traditionally, when you have like a fleet of vehicles that you need to reposition, you need to actually have a human driver sitting into the car that is paid by the company that is going to move the car around or deliver the car to the customer. That is extremely expensive operationally. So when that person is removed from the car and they can sit remotely, the employee that is driving the car can switch from one vehicle to another in a matter of a second.
That's really neat. I got it. Do these piloted vehicles need to be electric?
Yeah, it's actually a beautiful question. So the ultimate vision for the company is to transition the world away from gasoline to all electric cars without the need of owning a car. Electric cars are going to make a big impact on climate change. This is very, very real. It's absolutely true. But the problem with electric cars is too expensive. It starts at $40,000, which means only a handful of people can actually afford a very expensive car. Even if they're able to afford a $40,000 car, you have to retrofit a house with some form of charging infrastructure. That's not only going to cost a few $1,000s, but in most cases, they can't even do it. Because if you rent a house or you live in a complex, you just can't simply install a charging infrastructure in where you live. So what we're saying is, on top of this, private cars, when they're owned privately, are parked 96% of the time, which means 23 hours, the car that you own right now is sitting in a parking lot somewhere. It's just crazy numbers, right? So what we're saying is shared electric vehicles are the future. And at the same time, when the car comes to a customer fully charged, you don't have to worry about charging it, maintaining it, cleaning it, changing the tires. None of that overhead of owning a car is there for a customer. You simply just drive the car wherever you want to go. And when you drive, we tell you, don't even need to worry about parking. Just leave the car somewhere that's safe, and then you walk away.
Wow.
The car's gone.
So cool. As we wrap up, Anand, our guest has been Anand Nandakumar. He's CEO and co-founder of Halo.Car in Las Vegas. You can order a vehicle on your phone and it will be remotely piloted to you before you take control of the wheel. Is this sort of a stopgap solution? Do you envision in the future your vehicles to be fully autonomous, that's just to drive themselves without a human controlling it remotely?
So that's a future that we kind of anticipate as well. But what we want to do is this is a bridge to get to that fully autonomous fleet of cars.
For those who want to learn more about Halo.Car, what's the best place to get going?
Halo.Car.
Thanks so much for your time, Anand.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Very cool. Again, Halo.Car for more. Before we talk with the author of a new book about 3D printed organs, really cool stuff, just a huge thank you to Visa, one of my esteemed partners on Tech It Out, for protecting the financial information of both individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online or at retail using your Visa card. Visit visa.com/security to learn about the billions of dollars invested into fighting fraud by Visa. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
Stephen Steele is with us, the author of The Organ Grinder Factor. It's an action suspense thriller about a 3D printer that replaces damaged human organs without the need for surgery. And we're going to explore how this might not be so far-fetched. Stephen, it's good to chat with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. So why don't we dive right in? Please tell us about your book, The Organ Grinder Factor.
As you said, it's about a 3D printer that replaces human organs without the need for surgery. But I should say that all of my books are action suspense thrillers. They're all very reality-based. And each one has a societal or a worldwide element of great concern. And each one has a single element of technology that is fiction. The first book, The Canister Factor, is about a genetically engineered cure for viral diseases, like everything from cancer to coronavirus to the common cold, that Big Pharma makes illegal. And that has, tremendous implications for what's been going on lately. The third book is really cool. It's called after the series, The Trouble with Miracles.
Right.
And it's about the discovery of the ancient secret to fusion energy in this desperate race to keep it out of the wrong hands, i.e. China, that ranges everywhere from Chile's northern desert to the magic and mystery of Easter Island. And then the third book, of course, is The Organ Grinder Factor. And as you said, it's about the organ grinder that replaces human organs.
That's the name of the 3D printer, right? The Organ Grinder is the name of the 3D printer.
Yeah. It's set amid the horrors of child slavery in Africa and the ongoing conflicts in Israel. As an author, I try to stay neutral on those subjects, but it's impossible. You're going to offend people just bringing up the subject.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to the 3D printer, works like a regular printer. And as we know, a regular printer uses 4 colors, right? From these, we make all the colors of the rainbow and a whole bunch of colors that aren't in the rainbow, right? So that's basically the way the organ grinder works. There's all these vats of basic human chemical components that make up the human body. 4 major classes of molecules. There's carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, and like DNA and RNA, and then there's proteins. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff. Sulfur and phosphorus and oxygen and carbon is very, very important. Hydrogen, sodium, and so on. It's not that far-fetched because they've already been able to replicate human tissue with a 3D printer. That's real. So
I've read that, yeah.
And then a beam of light passes over the organ, and at 1 micro layer at a time, it grinds up the disease part of it and replaces it with all of the proper. The computer reads what these chemicals are.
Right.
So again, if you think of a regular printer that everybody has on their desk, it works exactly the same way.
We are chatting with Stephen Steele. He's the author of The Organ Grinder Factor, an action suspense thriller about a 3D printer that replaces human organs without the need for surgery. It's the second book out of a trilogy, collectively referred to as The Trouble with Miracles. Stephen, I'd love to know what technology you use to write your books. Do you use a regular word processor?
All artists create in different ways. A sculptor works with his hands, a musician, if you think of a painter or so forth. My creativity, and it is my gift, it's my one gift, is my creativity. It comes through my hands. It comes through my fingers. Okay, that's where it comes out. And it comes out on a keyboard. And the keyboard happens to be my very speedy laptop. So that's what I use, and I use a laptop. I have a wonderful 17-inch that's very light,
nice, and
can go anywhere, and it's easily portable. But like any artist, I'm most comfortable in the space that I'm.
Yeah, like a home office.
But the art, the creativity, and many artists will confirm this. It comes through a different part of their bodies.
So if you tried to dictate parts of your book, you had some ideas for a dialogue sequence or a setting, you wouldn't click record and use voice to text transcription or anything?
No, I'm very shy and self-conscious of speaking to microphones and cameras.
Okay, well, you wouldn't know it.
I'm practicing.
So, Stephen, as we wrap up, where can we buy your book, The Organ Grinder Factor, and the other 2 in the series as well?
My books are available on Amazon and wherever books are sold.
So it's both a paperback as well as an ebook.
As an ebook, the ebooks are I think with the economy slowing up and money becoming more and more dear to everyone, I think reading is going to become much more of a popular pastime. I mean, people don't go to movies anymore, and you know, they're cutting out going to restaurants and everything. The print books are $14, $15, $16, but the ebooks are $2.99 each for the series, and I'm kind of promoting that right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a deals, and I want sales. I'm not worried about the money. You know, at this point, I want readers. I want fans.
Let's see if we can help there. All right, so Amazon.com, if you want to look for the book, again, The Organ Grinder Factor. Sir, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Congratulations on this trilogy.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me, Mark.
And thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out. A huge thank you to Asus, the title sponsor on this program. I'm recording this show on an Asus laptop, in fact. All the best, everyone. Catch up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.